Welcome to Pious Podcast, the St. Mary's Youth Group talk show for all ages. I'm Dan.
I'm Reno.
I'm Vince.
And I'm Stanley Thompson. Today on our show, we're going to talk about some favorite traditions among our group for the Holy Triduum, which is the evening of Holy Thursday through the evening of Easter Sunday, and we'll find out if anything has changed for them in recent years. Later, we'll discover the possible origin of the Easter egg, then end with a positive quote from the Bible. So let's start.
So Reno, what's a favorite Easter tradition of yours?
My favorite Easter tradition is that every year on Easter Saturday, we go over my aunt's house for a family party, and I get to see all my extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins. And it's nice. We eat good food, talk. It's a good time. And then later in the night, towards the end, my aunt lays out eggs, and all my younger cousins, and it used to be me, would go out and do a little Easter egg hunt. Now that I'm older and in high school, I don't hunt the eggs anymore, but instead I hide them, and I get to see my little cousins go and find eggs. They're running around looking for them, having a good time. So it's a fun night. And then we follow that up on Sunday. We host Easter at my house, and we welcome family on my mom's side. Once again, great food, just a good time. And yeah, that's it. All right, now it's my turn to ask. Vince, what's a favorite Easter tradition that you have?
In the past, I would always go to my aunt's house for an Easter egg hunt and dinner, but as time has gone on and I've gotten older, and the fact that the pandemic has hit, has made it more difficult to do big group events with that side of the family, as they're much farther away than my mom's side of the family, which is a lot closer to us. That created a holiday tradition that happened on Holy Saturday, where we would do a big Easter egg hunt, which was always fun, as my uncles found new ways to mess with us, even as we got older, like hiding eggs in impossible places, or telling us there was more eggs hidden than there actually were, so we were just out looking for eggs that weren't actually there. Also, Easter falls over spring break, so that also means I usually go away for spring break, as this year I am waking up, doing an Easter egg hunt, going to church, and then leaving on a plane to go to Orlando. Now, let's go back to Dan and ask what his favorite Easter tradition might be, and if it has changed recently.
Well, my favorite Easter tradition was on Good Friday, we had 3 hours without electronics. And it was my favorite because it was very, peaceful, you know?
Did this tradition change because of the pandemic?
Yeah, we've used electronics more during the pandemic, but we still take the 3-hour break.
Do you have a favorite Easter gift?
I always like when I come down the stairs, and there was this animatronic thing where there were 3 baby chickens, and they would sing, we got the something.
We got the beat.
Yeah, we got the beat. Yeah, that. And they would say that, and they're like, we got the beat. Na, 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 na. And that was pretty cool. Now it's time for We Want to Know. This is where anybody can send us a question for us to answer. Check the link in the podcast description to submit a question if you have one. Since today's episode is about Easter, where did the Easter egg come from?
Okay, so there's a few theories, but there's one that involves a pretty familiar biblical figure, and that's Mary Magdalene. Not to be confused with Jesus' mother Mary. After the crucifixion, and of course the resurrection of Jesus, that's the point, Mary Magdalene started to gain a following from the Roman officials and even the Emperor Tiberius himself. She met him, and while holding an egg up, she said, "Christ is risen." Now, personally, I would not be impressed if somebody made a bold statement like that while flashing a poultry product. And neither was Tiberius. So he said this, "There's as much of a chance for a human to come back to life as there is for that egg to turn red." And just like that, it turned red. I've only known this story since I first came to St. Mary's about 3 years ago, but it's much more celebrated in the Eastern Catholic Church, this story. To this day, they distribute red eggs on Easter. You can't find this story in the Bible, so it's more of a legend or tradition. But of course, not everybody knew how to write or had access to writing material, even if they knew. But that's a story that I believe shows that God can make the impossible possible.
Now here's Vivian with a positive quote from the Bible.
I pray that from his glorious, unlimited resources, he will empower you with inner strength through his Spirit. Then Christ will make his home in your hearts as you trust in him. Your roots will grow down into God's love and keep you strong.
Thanks everybody for being on the show today. I'm Dan, and thanks for listening to Pious Podcast.